close as City came to a second goal. Donnarumma made one brilliant save to deny Thiago in a one-on-one situation. Brentford absolutely peppered City with long balls and crosses from corners and so on, but the Blues held tough and they're celebrating very, very heartily. A brilliant win for the Blues. They're up to 5th in the Premier League table. Brentford 0, City 1. Well, let's go back to the studio. I think Ben Mee said either 1 or 2-0, so he was spot on. Back to you, Natalie.
He certainly did. Thank you so much to Alistair Mann and to Michael Brown there. There is a very happy-looking Pep Guardiola. I am struggling to talk here for the minute. My nerves really were getting the better of me towards the end of that game. But City held on. The Erling Haaland goal in the first half, enough to seal a 1-0 victory away at Brentford. And you can see the City fans that travelled down making lots of noise, clapping the players as they all head over to the corner to thank the fans. I'm still joined by Ben Mee and by Paul Dickov. Paul, I'm absolutely sweating here.
Never in doubt, Natalie, I keep telling you that. Had to defend for their lives second half, you know. Ben said at half-time that Brentford had to come out with a lot more intensity than what they did in the first half, and you've got to give them credit. You know, they made it difficult. Put us under lots and lots of pressure, especially the last 20-25 minutes, but, you know, we're not always talking about Man City defensively and digging in and how good they were, but I thought the two centre-halves were brilliant. Matheus Nunes was great. Ellen getting a big kiss off one of the fans there. Yeah, I remember that one. Nico O'Reilly I thought was exceptional, and I'm really pleased for Nico Gonzalez. You know, he came on for Rodri in the first half. We all hope he's going to be well, but I thought it's probably been his best game for us in that role, you know. We protected the centre-halves really well, the back four really well, and a really hard-fought team win.
What I'm really enjoying this season is the celebrations when we win, Paul. It's like the appreciation of every victory, like the way that they look how happy they are, the way they're celebrating with the fans, like, you know, they're going into the fans, they're taking the shirts off, the hugs, that, you know, the wins this year are celebrated.
They are, and look, you can tell the team spirit's really, really good. And there was times last year where they looked a bit deflated after games, even some of the games that they won or that they'd drawn in, because they weren't happy with the performances. But today, they showed both sides of it. First half, really, really good with the ball. Keeping possession has been all we're really good at. But then the second half, they had to really, really dig in to get the 3 points. And, you know, people were only saying a few weeks ago that it's Liverpool and Arsenal, Man City are nowhere near the top of the league at the minute. You know, 3 points behind Arsenal, 2 points behind Liverpool now.
Yeah, the people writing a league off in September are always going to be crazy. Ben, City really were holding on at the end there. You must have been proud of your former team's performance in the second half.
Yeah, they pushed City, didn't they, towards the end. Really good second half, I thought. Yeah, Paul said they came out with a lot more energy, moved the ball better, yeah, and put City under a lot of pressure. But, you know, the scenes there you mentioned after the game, they're the best wins. You'd have to dig in deep and away from home. That's why you see all the high fives and the hugging and that. They're the ones that players enjoy the most, when, you know, you have to dig in with your team and, you know, you're in it together, and they certainly had to do that second half, yeah, for sure.
You enjoy them, we don't, as fans.
Yeah. When it's over, when you've won and everything, yeah, you know, it's that's the best feeling, isn't it? I think, you know, when you've dug in with your team and you've come away with 3 points away from home, it's great.
I think when you know you've not been at your best, it makes it even sweeter, doesn't it? Yeah. Away from home, really tough place to go. Keeping that clean sheet is massive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my nerves were based around the fact that we had been conceding these goals in other games. We mentioned at half-time, the Brighton game, the Arsenal game, the Monaco game, the feeling that we'd not been putting games to bed. I mean, obviously, we've held on and we've got the win today, but why weren't we able to go on and stretch our legs a bit?
I think going back to the celebrations again, that would have been at the back of the players' heads in the last 10-15 minutes, knowing that they've been in great positions in 3 games this season and ended up losing the points. So just sometimes a little bit of concentration levels. Sometimes it can be new players coming in that take time to settle in. There can be a number of factors that it's doing it, but don't underestimate that one today. That's a huge, huge win for everybody that was there.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, the psychological impact of that win as well, going into a 2-week international break, knowing that they've held on, knowing that, you know, as you say, 3 points off Arsenal, 2 points off Liverpool, you know, up to 5th, back on a great, you know, undefeated run again. Psychologically, I feel like this is huge for us.
Massive, and people say players don't talk about it, but we've been in changing rooms, and Ali mentioned it then there, you know, we've got the early kick-off on this first Saturday back, we could be top of the league by then. I know players won't come out and talk about it or necessarily say that's what they're thinking about, but when they're at home and they're looking at the league table, they'll be thinking, they'll be going through their head thinking we can go back to the top of the league in a couple of weeks' time.
Do you sit at home looking at the league table?
No, not particularly, but you know, you know where you are, whereabouts you are, you know how the group's feeling, and I'll certainly be feeling like, you know, like Paul said, top of the league. You know, come 3 o'clock next week, you could be the week after. Sorry, they'll know that definitely. Yeah, they'll know that.
Who were the standout City players for you today?
Yeah, I think as Paul mentioned, you know, Nico came on for Rodri and did really well. I thought Nico Riley played well as well. I thought he had a really good game. You know, the rest of the players went a little bit quiet second half. 2 centre halves dug in, did really well. I thought they handled, you know, the sort of front two quite well first half, and second half, like I say, had to dig in. But yeah, there was a couple. I think those two probably, the two Nicos probably played very well.
Can we talk about the Coyote long throw, by the way, because it was starting to really bug me every time I saw him going for the towel. Long throws are well and truly back in fashion, but I mean, every time he had one, it felt dangerous.
Yeah, it's a monster throw, isn't it? It's a real weapon, and yeah, Brentford have used it since I was there, so 3 years now they've been doing it, and it wasn't as fashionable probably a few years ago as it is now, and you know, everyone's trying to figure out who's got a long throw in the team, I guess, and who can sling it in there. A funny story, I actually had a a throwing coach come in to the training ground when I first arrived, like the first week that I was there. A guy came in who was technically a throwing coach, and I thought I was being punked or something like that. I didn't realise, you know,
game's gone.
Yeah, I was like, well, practising throw-ins, but yeah, it's certainly something Brentford have done for a long time, and other teams seem to be jumping on board as well.
I can't name the clubs, but I know pre-season certain clubs were having long throw competitions to see which player could actually do it, because they'd never used it before, they'd never even thought about it before.
But it's fashionable again.
Yeah, that's what they were seeing which player having competitions who could have the longest throw in there.
I'd love to watch those. I'd love to see our lot line up and have a competition on long throws. Were they teaching you the technique to get it further?
Yeah, so you'll notice a couple of guys. Matty Jensen takes them as well in the Brentford side, and he carries on his run sort of thing, and his technique sort of he's developed that kind of technique to get further. But yeah, it was funny. They were measuring out the throws with a tape measure and everything, see how far everyone could do it, and so I had to have a go, and I didn't want to do it anyway, so I just little throw. Yeah, I didn't need my back and that and stuff. So, but yeah.
It reminds me of the days when like Rory Delap had come to town and they'd like move the hoardings in, so there was no room for him to throw them, or the people that were the long throw experts. But I mean, I'm glad they're back. But that today was too nervous for me. Too nervous every time he got that towel out. Also, we want to say a big congratulations to our very own Pep Guardiola today, because he has now won 250 Premier League games, the quickest manager to do it. So he's done it in 349 games. Absolutely unbelievable. He becomes the 16th manager to win 250 top-flight games with a single club. And he's done it in 349 games, 74 games quicker than anybody else has managed it. So you can see there, Arsene Wenger did it in 423 and Sir Alex Ferguson in 404. Unbelievable. That is some record. 250 wins in 349 games, Paul. Doesn't seem real.
Doesn't. It's some achievement, especially when you look at the two other great managers that are on there as well, you know, to be able to beat them to that, and not just beat them, but beat them by a long, long way. It just shows you how good he is and how good we've been since he's been here.
I love the picture that he's chosen there. He looks particularly
smug.
Smug. I wasn't going to say it, but you did, yeah. Indeed, in that. I mean, in terms of managerial records, this man has broken so many as well, but this is a phenomenal record. How highly do you rate him as a manager?
Yeah, probably the best that we've seen, isn't he? So, yeah, massively impressive. That's ridiculous. 250 in 349. Yeah, so he's up there, isn't he? He's probably the best, isn't he?
Love that. We just keep breaking random records all over the show, but congratulations to Pep. That's a phenomenal record to have broken. And of course, we're going in now to a 2-week international break. Paul and I will have our eyes on the Scotland game next weekend. Of course, England have qualified a friendly and a qualifier as well. And loads of our players are going to be going off all over the show. So the ones to keep an eye on, John Stones and James Trafford have been called up by England. They have a friendly versus Wales, and then they travel to Latvia in qualifying. Of course, England 5 wins out of 5 so far. Although, of course, no Phil Foden and no Jack Grealish. Of course, Jack Grealish scored today for Everton, the winner against Palace. And, of course, Phil Foden, we've seen him this season as well. So we'll see. I expect that will change by the end of the season. And then for Norway, Erling Haaland and Oscar Bob have both been called up for Norway. Now, their last game was an 11-1 victory over Moldova. They have a home qualifying game against Israel. They are also currently 5 out of 5. They'll be going to Italy in November as well. That could be the crunch game for them in there. And they have a friendly with New Zealand as well. I said to both of you earlier on, I really want Norway to qualify for the World Cup because I just would love to see Erling Haaland in particular, but of course Oscar Bob as well, get an opportunity to play in the world's best competition.
You would, and look for 5 wins out of 5. They're on their way to do it. But I think the World Cup and these big competitions, you want to see the best players there. You know, and Erling's the best centre forward in the world, so it'd be great for him, be great for Norway, but I think it would be great for the audience for the World Cup as well.
Got a good squad as well. They've got a really good squad, strong squad. Chris Ayer, who's at Brentford as well, is playing today. He's a Norwegian boy as well, and they've got a strong squad. So I don't see why they shouldn't do it, really.
That game against Italy is going to be a big one for them, a big one. So best of luck to Erling Haaland and to Oscar Bob for Norway. Now, Rodri, of course, was called up for Spain. He did go off today. We don't have any update on that yet. Of course, we're all keeping our fingers crossed that it's nothing serious. They have home qualifiers versus Georgia and Turkey. They are 2 out of 2 so far for Spain. Of course, Gio Donnarumma called up by Italy. So they have Estonia away, Israel at home. They are currently second in the group, behind Norway, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, but they are level on points with Israel. Not reached a World Cup since 2014.
I know, it's crazy stuff, isn't it?
That's insane. How have they let that happen? Obviously, they won the Euros in that time, but that's crazy for Italy. And then, of course, Reinders and Ake called up by Netherlands. They have Malta away, Finland at home in qualifying games there as well. And then we've got the Portuguese lot. Bernardo, Diaz and Nunes all called up. Ireland and Hungary, both at home for them, 2 out of 2 in the qualifying games as well. So lots and lots of players to keep an eye on over the international break. We send them all lots of love. We hope that they all play absolutely amazing and come back fit, please. That would be wonderful. We know that's the dream. That's what everybody wants. And then, of course, 2 weeks. So 2 weeks yesterday, Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff, City take on Everton. That is our next game. That is in the Premier League. And as we've mentioned, that is before Arsenal and Liverpool both play that weekend. So if City win on the goal difference as well with Arsenal, they could go top at the end of it. Jack Grealish can't play against his parent club, and Everton currently sit just 2 points behind us in the league. So 2 weeks away yet, Paul, but a home 3 o'clock Saturday game, the opportunity to maybe go top if we score enough goals. Don't need anything more than that, do we, to know it's a big game?
No, we don't at all. Everton will be tough. They've started the season reasonably well. A big bonus for us that Jack's not playing, the form he's in at the minute. But look, we're at home and at the Etihad in a great run of form, unbeaten run of form, playing well, getting better game by game. So I don't see any reason why we can't get 3 points, especially with being at home.
Of course, Everton looking dangerous this year, Ben. Since David Moyes has come back, they continue to progress into the new stadium, playing well. So it's going to be a difficult game for City. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, obviously, bonus without Jack playing there, but they've got some really good, talented players, and David Moyes has got them playing really well. So yeah, it'll be a tough game, but I think City have shown now that they're on a run. They're playing well, performing. So you'd expect them to win that.
And I hope we throw down a message again. It would be nice, to go top even just before they play, just to, put the pressure back on them again.
It does, and look, the Masters are doing that over the last few years. Whenever we're playing the early kick-off or before the Liverpool, as it was for years, or Arsenal, it really puts the pressure back on them again. But look, you can only look after what you're going to do, and it's still early doors. But it'll be great to see us back at the top of the league again.
So Arsenal have Fulham away that day at 5:30. Fulham also going well. That will be a tough trip for them. And then Liverpool have United the following day. And we know United turn up for those Liverpool games. So that will be an interesting weekend of football. So City taking on Everton. Our next game for the men, that is Saturday the 18th of October for a 3 p.m. kickoff. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you both for being here. Ben, have you enjoyed your debut?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, yeah.
Will you come back?
Will you have me back?
Yes, we will definitely have you back. We fed you, we wooed you, we tried to accept when we showed all the goals from...
Yeah, picking the ball out of the net a lot there with the goals, but...
We hope that's not put you off.
No,
yeah. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it. And best of luck with the rest of the season as well. Thank you. Paul, pleasure as always.
Thank you as always.
Thank you very much. I will see you in a few weeks, I'm sure. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Matchday Live today. Shout out to Alistair Mann and Michael Brown for the commentary. And thank you, everybody. What a weekend. 4 games for Manchester City this weekend and 4 victories. The under-18s, the EDS, the women and the men. It has been a quadruple, a perfect weekend for the Blues. I do hope you've enjoyed yourself this weekend. I do hope you've enjoyed the show, and we look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks, everybody. We'll see you soon.
One of the best players I ever trained in my life.
It's like it's scripted.
I didn't do a lot really apart from play football.
I cannot believe that this is happening.
You're not getting a shine off my bald head, are you?
Now they're starting to believe again.
I can't deal with this.
If this happened today, it would be one of the most viral things ever.
Where do you want your statue, Vincent Kompany?
Ah, it's a city with character.
No one did 4 Premier Leagues in a row.
Manchester City are the champions.
We are the best in the world.
Not bad.
Who were the people that made the club?
The greatest moment in the history of the Premier League.
Push yourself as much as you can.
And it's Steph Forson.
One of the best feelings that I've ever had in football.
City is one of the biggest clubs in the world today.
What's next?
For me, perfect package.
I'll be watching